Senator Gillibrand, you know, we're on the last part of the first vote. We have 2 votes, so please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding this hearing. I'm very grateful to you and Senator Lincoln for your leadership on this issue. Thank you, Secretary, for being here and for your leadership on these issues. Some of the things that I'm most focused on right now is the high obesity rates in America. We spend about $100 billion a year on obesity. And when I was a kid, only about 5% of children were obese, and now it's higher than 17%. So this is a grave national healthcare issue that has to be addressed. Some of the best ideas that have been developed through your leadership, through the hearing, are feeding our children better foods. One thing that I've advocated for is a 70-cent increase for school lunches. That 70-cent increase would allow for more whole foods, more whole grains, more fruits, more vegetables, so we could feed our children better foods. Second, we want to keep our kids more active, fund programs that get them being athletic, being outside, making sure all schools have an hour of PE or gym time. Teaching kids about nutrition. Most kids don't understand about nutrition, making that part of the school curriculum. And banning trans fats, just banning them across the board in all schools. We have some leadership in New York and New York City where they've already done that quite successfully. Another issue we have in high-cost states like New York is we'd also like to see more people eligible, which you addressed in your opening remarks, both for breakfast and lunches. But one thing, because our state is such a high-cost state, a lot of working families can't afford good quality lunches for their kids. And so if we could increase the eligibility rate based on HUD's rental scheme, you would actually be able to get more children into maybe about $40,000 for a family of 4 income level. So that's another area of interest that I have that I hope you'll pursue and look at. And then my third area of concern is food safety. I've begun looking at this issue. I'm very concerned about lack of testing for E. coli, for example, in hamburger meat before it's ground up. I'm very concerned about the lack of notification. If food is recalled, our schools are not even notified that a food has been recalled in a grocery store or in the national media. So our schools need far more information, and our parents have no information whatsoever about where our food comes from. In particular, there is an article today in the USA Today that I hope you study because it's a very concerning article that brings some significant evidence to bear on this topic. First of all, they report that between 1998 and 2007, the data they've been able to collect shows 470 outbreaks where 23,000 children were made sick. And some of the examples they use are where there was evidence that the FDA knew about that a certain producer or provider of food had unsanitary habits, had made children sick in the past, and that information never got to the school districts, never got to the parents. So I'd like you to address that issue today in our time. Given the complex task of assuring food safety, and it's shared jointly by the USDA and the FDA, can you please elaborate on the steps you are taking to ensure better coordination between your agency dealing with the food safety and the Food and Drug Administration? I've heard reports that the FDA has delayed finalizing an MOU with the Food and Nutrition Service, so I'd like you to discuss some of the problems you may face there. And second, can you also talk about the steps that the USDA has taken to help schools increase transparency about what items are being served to students so parents can be more involved in planning menus and the development of those menus?
Senator, thank you for raising the issue of food safety. I know that's of particular interest to you, and I appreciate you addressing this. It is a deep concern for us at USDA. It's the reason why we encouraged the President, and we're encouraged by the President's establishment of the Food Safety Working Group that involved myself and Secretary Sebelius as the co-chairs. As a result of that Food Safety Working Group, whose work is still ongoing, there have already been a number of steps taken to try to address the issues raised in the article that you mentioned. First of all, as it relates to ground beef specifically, we have started a process of encouraging the testing of bench trim that goes into ground beef, which was not done before, which we think will help reduce E. coli in ground beef. We are also focused on salmonella in poultry and increasing and enhancing our rules in that respect. We're increasing worker training. We're also working on a unified incident command system and structure. We understand and appreciate that there's been a lack of communication between the two agencies and a gap in communication, which results in school districts not getting information on a timely basis. We are addressing that with this unified incident command structure and system. We also appreciate the need for us to get information to parents as quickly as possible, which is why we're exploring the utilization of the social marketing techniques, Facebook, Twitter, and alike, to try to get messages out as quickly and as effectively and as correctly as possible. Now, we are instituting within USDA, as it relates to our portfolio of food safety issues, a series of initiatives. We've developed a hold and recall procedure for foods procured by USDA for the National School Lunch Program. We've got a commodity complaint system in place that's been added to our electronic commodity ordering system. We have a rapid alert system to quickly notify program operators of food safety issues. We are utilizing that electronic commodity ordering system to announce recalls of non-USDA commodities. We are implementing a food safety program developed in part on our HACCP principles. And in fact, school districts are the only retail outlet, if you will, that is currently operating under HACCP principles. As you know, we are requiring safety inspections within schools 2 a year. We're now at 70% participation. We want to get to 100%. We're instituting a public notification system that allows individuals to receive bulletins of significance, especially recalls affecting USDA commodities. So there's an awful lot of activity emanating from the working group. We are very focused on this. Staff knows that this is another priority area of ours, and so I can assure you that we're going to try to do better than we've done.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I will go vote and come back. Thank you.